You must have wondered about the difference between a sin and a crime. Sin amounts to the infringement of divine laws as depicted by the priest, while a crime amounts to infringement of human and state laws. A sin is punishable by God, whereas a crime is punishable by the state. Sins differ from religion to religion within the same state. Thus, it is a sin for Catholics to abstain from Sunday Mass, irrespective of their statehood. In like manner, it is a sin for Muslims to eat pork, whatever be their statehood. In contrast, crimes are applicable to all citizens within a state, irrespective of their religion. Some acts, such as murder, come within the scope of both sins and crimes. But violence and murders in the name of gods are often commendable virtues as far as their religions are concerned, whereas they are or crimes in secular parlance. Sins are infringement of divine laws. And who draws up these divine laws? Of course, the priests to suit their interests and welfare. It may have been in this context that Stendhal said, all religions are founded on the fear of the many and the cleverness of the few. The atonement for sins are also prescribed by the priestly class. Posthumous ceremonies for the remission of sins constitute one of the main means of income for priests and shamans of all hues. And as long as dead men tell no tales, the priestly claims cannot be verified and they go on leeching on the gullible believers like parasites. Apart from sins, a second meme in religions is that we have a free will to choose between good and evil. Here again, we have to pick between crimes and sins, and that puts us in a dilemma as to whether we should commit crimes to protect gods and religious people. The flip side of free will is determinism, the meme that everything has been determined in advance long before our birth. Obviously, determinism excludes free will. God is assumed to be omniscient, which means that God knows the future as clearly as he knows the present and the past. This in turn implies that everything is predetermined, and so there is no such thing as free will if God knows the future. If, on the other hand, if humans have free will, then all future events can change in the present with each and every action that the billions of humans perform on earth from moment to moment. Obviously, if we have free will, the future will keep changing with every action we perform. This precludes God's omniscience and the resulting determinism. There are many other facts that goes against the concept of free will. Here are some of them. Most of the crimes of violence are committed by males, which implies that male hormones play an important role in making decisions of violence. 2. Males in the age group of 18 to 30 have the greatest spike in hormone levels, and so they account for more crimes than older or younger men. This too is evidence of the role played by male hormones in making decisions, as against free will. Women have hormone fluctuations during their periods, and this in turn leads them to depressions and deeds arising therefrom, including suicide tendencies. Culture plays a significant role in aggression. Empirical cross-cultural research has found differences in the level of aggression between ethnic groups. Social injustice often leaves no choice for the downtrodden but to resort to violent crimes. Indeed, the French, Russian, and Chinese revolutions Three of the most violent upheavals in human history were largely due to gross systemic inequality and hopelessness and frustrations that arose from such inequalities. What is more, deprived sections of the society are often uneducated, and this limits their options to that of violence. Sixth, there is a relationship between drugs and violence. About a third and more of all violent crimes are committed under the influence of alcohol and other drugs. The earlier an adolescent takes to alcohol or drugs, the more likely is that he will grow up into a violent adult. The role of drugs and alcohol in behavior obviously contradicts free will as well. 7. Hot weather and pollution have also been diagnosed as a contributory factor to violent behavior. It may not be entirely coincidental that the words temperatures and tempers sound identical in many languages, though temperature refers to heat while tempers allude to feelings of anger. Language usages like hot-headed or hot-tempered also point to the correlations between anger and high temperatures. Identical twins have the same DNA structure and genes. Consequently, it has been found that such identical twins make identical decisions under identical conditions, proving that our DNA or genes have a significant role in making decisions. From all the above, it is clear that free will is more of an illusion than a fact. I am inclined to think that our genes also determine our actions. Some are born criminals, just as they are born male or female, just as they are born healthy or sickly, just as they are born tall or short, just as they are born handsome or deformed. There is a famous satire by Samuel Butler titled Erewhon, Erehwon, which depicts a place called Erewhon where crimes are treated in hospitals while illnesses and diseases are punished with various jail sentences. Serious diseases like tuberculosis meet with the death penalty. By the way, the title, as I said, Erewhon, is nowhere written backward. Obviously, free will is not all that free. It may have been for this reason that we humanists clamor for the abolition of the death penalty. We also hope that in the future, crimes can be contained by genetic manipulations at the fetal stage itself or at the infancy stage. We humanists sympathize and empathize with criminals as much as we sympathize and empathize with the mentally and physically challenged sections of the society. This is because we believe that most criminals are born criminals and their nurture or their upbringing does the rest. Returning to Adam and Eve, did they have free will when they ate the forbidden fruit? If God were omniscient, then everything was predetermined. Consequently, Adam and Eve had no free will and so not culpable for the crime. On the other hand, if they had free will, then God was not omniscient and did not know the future. If God did not know the future, how did God or His Bible predict that the Messiah would come? From myths, it is obvious that omniscient God is not aware of the difference between free will and determinism, and consequently, He punishes Adam and Eve for a slight and naive infringement of His order. And not satisfied with that, He goes on to punish their descendants for all time out of pure, sadistic and malicious vindictiveness. Apart from the concepts of free will and determinism, there is a third view called compatibilism, according to which determinism and free will are not mutually exclusive, but they are compatible. All these three views were put into the right perspective by Adarsh Schopenhauer, according to whom man can do what he wills, but he cannot will what he wills. Man can do what he wills, but he cannot will what he wills. This, I think, much sums up the debate on free will, determinism, and compatibilism. Here are some provocative thoughts on determinism and free will. Life is like a game of cards. What you are dealt is determinism. The way you play it is free will. That was a quotation from Jawaharlal Nehru. Then Scott Adams says, free will is an illusion. People always choose the perceived path of the greatest pleasure. None are more hopelessly enslaved than those who falsely believe they are free. That is by Johann Wolfgang Goethe. Then there is the other one by the quotation from Raymond Smullyan. I have free will, but not of my own choice. I have never freely chosen to have free will. I have to have free will whether I like it or not. And then there is a quotation from Einstein himself. I do not believe in free will. Schopenhauer's words, man can do what he wills, but he cannot will what he wills, accompany me in all situations throughout my life and reconcile me with the actions of others, even if they are rather painful to me. So with this, I conclude this dialogue or presentation on free will. Thank you for listening to me.